game and able to get the win and continue this magical run.
Yeah, I mean, I think people weren't expecting us to win. So we came out, we obviously are playing with nothing to lose. We're playing with a lot of joy, a lot of love for each other, and I think that shows up on the court. It feels good to steal the first one, for sure, especially in their house.
Seems like since game one of last time, the message of 50-50 balls, all those little things, margin of error, that has really resonated with this group and something you've been able to thrive off of.
Yeah, I think like playoffs for any team, that's what it comes down to, and that's what we're hearing. Obviously, someone like me and a lot of us who don't have a lot of playoff experience, leaning on the people that have, and that's the messaging that we keep hearing is the teams that get the 50 balls, teams that work harder, that focus more are going to win. So that's really what we're focusing on every game.
How much has Sydney's voice resonated, maybe even more in this series, given her history with this franchise?
Yeah, I mean, she shared some insights into like what she thinks they will look for individually, what they'll go to at the end of the game, end of shot clock, and so I think it really does help us because we kind of know what to look for, and we know a little bit into what they're thinking and how they're approaching the game helps us respond to it.
How does the body feel at this time of the year, given all that you in particular have gone through and are always on the floor?
I'm a little sore, I'm not going to lie. It's catching up to me, but we're going to just keep getting warm, keep going out there, try to forget about the pain a little bit. But that's the part of the year. That's everyone. Everyone's playing with a little bit of bumps and bruises, and again, you just kind of forget about that in playoffs.
You guys have quite the section here on Sunday after game one. I'm just wondering what it means to you that your fans have stuck around even through all these injuries.
We're so grateful. It's really great to know that we have a support system everywhere we go. We have fans cheering for us everywhere we go, and that goes a long way. You know, playing in anybody else's home court with their home fans, it can be intimidating. They can go on runs, and you can feel like, you know, the crowd is really playing a role. And I feel like because we have people that continue to show up for us, we're always playing with a little bit of fan support. So we're really grateful for everyone that traveled, and I think more than anything, we're really, really, really excited to get back to Gamebridge and play in front of those home fans.
I'm trying to frame this as nicely as possible, but you guys obviously had a big influx of fans last year. Does it feel like they've learned more about you guys over the last couple of years? You know, like, just like they're fans of everyone now?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously with the addition of Caitlin, her fans followed to the Fever, and this year we're so grateful, especially with the injuries that have happened and the fans that have continued to stay around and support us, that they're fans of the entire team. They're fans of the people that have been here for a month. They're fans of the people that have been here, like Kelsey, for 8 whatever years. Like, we're grateful for everyone that's here, and whoever's hopped on the bandwagon, we're more than welcome to keep adding. So if you're fans of the Fever, we love you.
I assume you saw the news out of New York this morning?
Yes.
What was your immediate reaction to that?
Just, you know, disappointed obviously for Sandy. She's a great coach, great human being. And of course, you know, in our profession, you hate to see that.
I guess what do you make of just the pace of turnover that you've seen in the W over the last few years?
I don't know. I mean, those are jobs above my pay grade, so you know, I don't really know what to make of it.
What did you try to get accomplished yesterday? Just film review and a little bit game plan?
Yeah, I mean, we watch film, you know, walking through some of the things that we want to adjust, some of the things we might not have executed the way that we wanted to as well, and also just anticipating some of the things that they might throw at us. So, you know, not a heavy physical day. You know, we played a lot of heavy, hard minutes, and but a heavy mental day.
You all have been so good at this as the underdogs, but how do you just not let the emotion of a major Game 1 win affect you moving forward in a long series?
I mean, you know, we just approach it one day at a time. You know, we really do try to be where our feet are, be in the moment. You know, we can't think about anything that we've already done. We can't look too far ahead. And, you know, this group is very good about staying locked in. You know, obviously we expect, you know, a different effort. You know, from Vegas. When you're in these situations, we were in the same situation in the last series. Your back is against the wall. Like, there's a certain desperation that you play with, you know, and we've got to be able to play with that same desperation. And so we just have to stay in the moment, stay locked in, and be where our feet are.
You know, building off of that, Coach, you talk about that desperation and needing to kind of match that energy from Vegas. How do you prepare to do that when it you're not in the same situation. You're not as desperate perhaps as they are.
Well, I feel like we've been desperate since about the beginning of August, really. I mean, we've had to play every game with that desperation, and so we've sort of adopted that mentality. We know that in order for us to position ourselves to win, like, it has to be about execution, it has to be about grit, it has to be about toughness, it has to be about pace. We don't have the luxury of not competing at a high level night in and night out, and this group understands that, and I feel like since about the beginning of August that they've played that way. So we always have a sense of desperation in our minds.
Building off of you're saying, like, you need to have that execution. Right? You guys have been really good at executing at a high level and executing the game plans that you develop. What have you seen from your team in terms of their ability to focus amidst all that emotion, amidst physical fatigue, and still be able to execute at such a high level against such high quality opponents? Yeah,
I think the first and foremost, they're really good at not giving into excuses. They understand what it takes. And as we've said throughout the course of the year, there's no substitute for experience. And now experiencing this moment for some of them, for the first time, their attention to detail has been really good. It continues to be really good. They allow us to coach them, to challenge them, to push them. And that's important because it does take a different level and a different version of yourself and a different version of a team to compete in the semifinals, more so than it did in the first round or more so than it did in the regular season. Every level up needs a different version of themselves, and they allow us to push them to that. And so they handle coaching really well. They take a lot of pride in what they do, and they take a lot of pride in doing it for one another and having each other's back. And I think that's what allows them to go out and to continue to execute. We're not always perfect, but when we play with that effort and that multiple levels of effort, it allows us to work through those imperfections.
Steph, with Odyssey in particular, do you think that's just a perfect example of fit and opportunity and then settling in now?
Yeah, I think it is. The moment that we lost, Arian Sid, we knew we needed a playmaker, and she was one of the ones that's been out there. She does that at a high level. She has done that at a high level throughout her entire career. So right time, right moment. And I think playing with this group who just allows her to do what she does best, I think it gives her a comfort zone to know that we need her to do that. And there are some games where I'm on her if she's too passive, because we are not successful if she's not the best version of herself, which is getting downhill, getting into the paint, creating for herself, creating for others, and playing with that high intensity level. And she's been terrific for us, and we're going to need her to continue to be.
Coach, you mentioned pride, and the Fever is a very prideful franchise. What's it meant to you with your own history as a member of the Fever, as coach of the Fever, to kind of lead this team back to a place of impact within this league?
It means a lot. I mean, this is a franchise that I love. It's really a fabric of my DNA, from a player to assistant coach to head coach to just the state of Indiana and how much we love basketball and how much pride we take, and really it's a sports town. I mean, the Pacers run, what the Colts are doing, this year, and with us, as a Fever, it's important for us to put our best foot forward. I think we represent, our state and our city and how we compete, in being that gritty, tough, blue collar, kind of team. We hope to lead our city, our state, and our country, for that matter, in how we approach life and how the examples that we show in not just grit, resilience and toughness, but inclusion and allowing people to be the best version of themselves. I mean, we take a lot of pride in everything that we do and being leaders in our community and setting a tone, and also being an escape from some of the harsh realities that happen, in life.
How does it feel seeing Coach Steichen in particular and the Colts shout out what your group is doing? I mean,
it feels great. It really is. Our community is very much like small town college feel for supporting one another. I mean, from Coach Steichen to I get texts from Rick, to see the Pacers players and the Colts players in the building, and for our players to be in their buildings. Like it's just it's important, and I think it shows how tight the sports community is in the city of Indianapolis and in the state of Indiana.
As a Boiler, do you even take pride in IU football ascending right now?
That's a trick question. No comment. No comment.